Okay, so in this part, we're looking at how actually the specimen, in this case the E letter, looks like under the microscope. So this is how it looks. If you can see this microscope is connected to this camera. So you see how it looks at low magnification. Okay, it looks inverted, as I mentioned in the previous video, because of optics, how the light travels from one lens into the another one without inverting it back. But that's how it looks, and it's okay. If you want it to look the right way, all you have to do is invert the E, because I had it, and then just put it this way. And then you can flip it so it can look the way it's supposed to at some point. I mean, there are different ways that you can make it work if you want. But at some point, you look, whenever you're looking at slide, that's something that I probably forgot to tell you guys. You have a glass slide. You have your sample usually here in the middle. And then, like in here we have many slides. So, what are the parts of the glass slide? So you have an edge. In this case, this is a slide that you usually use in the microscope, in the regular experiments that you do in the lab. So you have this edge. Sometimes it's frosted, sometimes it's colored. Like in this case, it has a white color, where you can write down information. Like in the cheek smear experiment that it is done during the cytology lab, you put your name, you put the date, and then you put the sample name, okay? So, and whenever you put your name, you don't put your complete name, you just put your initials. And actually that one is done usually in the bottom, and then the date in the bottom, and then you put the name in the sample, of the sample. So that's this area, that's what it is for. And then you don't grab the slides by this part or this part, because you can contaminate the glass slide. So you always grab it like this. And then it has these 3/4 of the area for putting your specimen. And when you put your specimen, you usually put it in the middle. You don't put it on the edges, because the sample can go from the top into the bottom. So you will always put the sample towards the top. And in this case, this is a prepared slide. So if you see, they have this sticker with the identification, which in this case will be, let me see, it says human Pelton tonsil, and it has the name of the company, etc. But this is the top actually of the slide, and you see this other piece, this is a cover slip, which is a very, very thin part of the slide that goes on the top of this. So you can use that as well. And here is the sample, so you always focus on where the sample is. So in this case, for these E slides, the sample here is in the middle, and then it has this tape that it is covering the sample. And at some point, you also can use tape for some samples, like parasitology samples, etc. But, okay, so we will put it there, okay? And if you see, it looks inverted. And that's with low magnification, the one that magnifies 4 times. And then you move into the next, which is the medium. And then in here, you don't see it really well. You have to wait. And then you see better magnification. So it depends on what part you will be interested in to look, whether you want to look in there or somewhere else. So you move the stage with this, the part that it moves the stage clip, the knobs. And then, since you are out of focus, you don't see it really clear, you have to use this fine knob, and you move it tiny, a little bit out of the time, and then you see here better the details. So these are the actual dies that makes this letter when it was printed. And then you see these white parts, and these are air bubbles that are introduced while you're taping. And anything that it is not actually the sample, like air bubbles, like pieces of debris, all that it is considered debris or background. But what you are interested in then is in whatever piece is in there, and you're interested in to know how it is magnified. And then I'm going to move, again, grabbing your objective lens, your nose piece with this part, the fingers in here, not directly the objective lens, and then you move to the high magnification, and at some point you see less. So that's your field of vision, and then you move the sample towards the middle, again using the parts that move the stage, and then again it's out of focus. You don't need to use a lot of movement of this fine knob, so you can magnify, or focus better until you get a definition. So that's the best definition that we can get at some point, and that's how it looks. And then you can move, if you want, follow the different pieces of the E. And then you can take pictures. In this case, this is a nice microscope because with a click of this part that says acquire image, let you to have a record. You can use your phone. So I took a picture of that, and then it gives me here. But you can use your phone. I'm going to take a picture as well of 10. Like, let's say that you want to have a picture of the medium magnification. I'm going to move it in here, and then take a picture, have a record of what I did. And I'm going to do so as well for the low magnification. So just remember, whenever you want to have the total magnification of the image, you always multiply the magnification of the objective lens times the ocular. Ocular always 10, and then objective lenses changes. Low magnification is 4 times, medium magnification is 10 times, high magnification is 40. So this one, 4 times 10, that's 40 times. And that's, when you are using the lowest magnification, you can see better. And you see here a square, okay, because this is an image in this screen, in this monitor. But whenever you're looking at the ocular lens, as I explained you before, you have a circle. And then you can refer, okay, what you're looking at. Okay, so this what do you look at 1? So then you will be looking at here 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 o'clock. But you can do dividing quadrants as well. So what do you see in the upper left, upper right quadrant, etc.? So let me take a picture of this, and then I'm going to show you that you have also the ability to seek different areas according to the thickness of at different levels according to the thickness of the sample. So this sample, it's a flat sample. So whenever the light is passing by through a flat sample, you don't have to adjust anything on the fine or coarse knob besides just looking at the definition that you look the best, because at some point everything it's at the same level, at the same plane. But let's say that you have a sample that it has a round shape or something, and then you're squeezing it through the glass slide and the cover slip. Well, what if you want to see the tip of the round object and you don't want to see the base? In that case, you have to move up and down your stage so you can look at the tip only and not at the base. That's like giving you more a three-dimensional view or a depth. So that's what we are going to be doing with these colored threads. So let me change the slide and then we will see how they look. So in this case we have a blue, yellow, and red threads, and since they're thick and they are on the top of each other, they're at the different levels or planes. So it's something like this. So you have one thread in here, you have the other one on the top, and perhaps they're tangling like this, and then you have another one. So they are located at different depths. Okay, so let me go to acquire so you can look the different threads, and you have to give a little bit of time as well sometimes when you change slides. It's hard to see the color at some point. Okay, so let's see if I can find an area where the three cross. Well, I don't have one, but because I can see it in here, but if you see here, this is the blue thread, this is the yellow, and we are looking at low magnification, so that's why you can see the big piece. So if I want to focus on this one, I just move the stage up and down, and then to the sides, and I can see how does they look. So one is going to be out of focus and the other one is going to be at the right focus. So in this case, let's say I'm looking at the yellow one because they're almost kind of flat to one another, so that's why it's very hard to find the depth. But in this case, you see much better the actual dual threads that makes this yellow thread. It's like a DNA spiral, two strands. So these are two strands of the yellow one, so you can see it better than the ones in here. And what if I want to see part of these other pieces that are coming off from this yellow thread? So I can use the fine and coarse focus to see this better. Okay, so I'm going to move now away from this and see how it's going out of focus. And I can move now up a little bit so you can see better the blue thread instead of the yellow. And then let me move into different areas because this is a difficult area. So let me find now where the yellow and the red, which are these two, are intersected, or they are crossing. So this is the red, this is the blue. Sorry, it's red and blue, not red and yellow. So they are intersected in here, and I'm going to just be moving the fine focus to focus a little bit better the red. And I think that's the best that I can get and it's dark, the image, because the colors are darker at some point. And then if I want to focus now on this one, on the blue one, like in here, you see less the definition of the red one. What if I want to focus better on this part? Let's see if I can. That's the best that I can do. Okay, now let's move into an area where actually the yellow and the red crosses. Now you can see better the contrast between the two of them. So if I want to focus on this area, I have to move my fine knob. As you can see here, I can see it better. But what if I want to focus on this area, on this edge? Well, I have to as well move my stage up and down. So that's what you can do. Like in here, I move it a little bit out. So I'm trying to see better these little threads or mini threads out of this red one. And what if I want to focus on this edge, on this one? So I move it, and then you lose the definition of these two, but you see better this edge. And this debris that you see here is what I call the background. Well, it's called the background. I didn't call it that way, or debris, basically, like the air bubbles that we saw in the E letter. And then you can follow them as well, like this part, which is the end of this red thread. You just can focus it, and if you can keep on going, you don't have this well in focus, so you move the actual fine focus to knob to see it better, and you keep going, following it. And whenever you see something that is out of focus, you just move your fine focus. Again, another debris in there, and all these are artifacts. That's the best name. It's called artifacts, guys. The debris, the bubbles, anything like that is called the artifacts. And see how I'm losing the focus, so I have to adjust it. It is not easy because like these ones are almost flat, but they're there, but they have a different level as well. So see how in here it's a little bit out of focus, so let's see if we can focus it better. Now it looks better. Following it. So in here, this area looks a little bit out of focus. One advantage that you have, like in here, there's a bend. So one advantage that you have when you're using the low magnification objective is that you not only are able to use the fine focus knob, but also the coarse focus. So in some of the parts I was using the coarse focus, and the thing is that this objective lens is so small that your slide is almost like here, and whenever you're moving the coarse, it never hits the stage or the slide, it never hits the objective lens. So in here we have bent, so we have a little bit of difference in levels between this part and this part. So I can use the fine focus or the coarse focus knob to try to magnify the different parts. Like in here, I see better the definition than this. and in here, kind of almost similar to this, but it's hard to keep it in focus, but in here I have it better in focus than this part. So let's keep following it. And then in here you lose the definition because you have a little bump, so you again try to adjust it a little bit. You keep going, adjust, keep going, adjust. And then now if you want, you can follow the yellow one. So see how you see some dark areas and here some yellow areas? Well, this is because you have a crossing of the two strands, and you can focus better the areas where they cross. So you expect to see, like in this case, less light coming through and more light in here because this is a denser area where the two strands crosses. Then you reach the end of the thread and of the video. Hopefully that has helped you to understand then that you can move up and down the stage with these two, and also move the clips of the stage with these other knobs, so you can follow your thread, and then you can do the exercise of depth perception. So that is all for the microscopy video. I will see you in the next